Hey guys, Mr. Withered here, back with a brand new showcase for you guys. Sorry that I've been gone for so long. Life happened and I've just been busy and I haven't had time to work on anything. I rearranged my room, hence the new setup. I have my Sonic shelf here. So now you all can see the bottom row of the shelf. But in honor of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie coming out, which, by the way, fantastic movie. If you can go see it, please do. You'll greatly enjoy it if you love Fnaf. But in honor of the movie coming out, I decided I would show off my custom Five Nights at Freddy's 2 figures I've been working on for the past few months. And just now recently finished, finally. But enough bickering, let's just get straight into the video. So first off, we have Withered Freddy. This dude is completely from Funko's pieces except for the body. The body is made by me with my 3D pen, as you can see a little better there. See, it's blue on the inside. I handmade the body and I hand sculpted the button and bow tie. I drilled into the body so it can have a peg hole, so I can just plug in the head with the standard Funko ball joint. And then I drilled into the body again so I can plug in the arm joints. These are just standard Funko arms joints that I've cut and super glued in so they can work on this body. And they work perfectly fine. You know, he has all his basic posability and he doesn't look weird. He has Lego ball joints in his waist and his feet to, 1, make him taller, and 2, to make him more posable. Another way I made him more posable is I flipped the standard Funko hand joints to where the ball is sticking out, and then I drilled into the hand. And so most of these guys have ball jointed hands. Which is very nice. The more posability, the better. But I bulked up his arms. I reshaped his head entirely, so he looks more like Withered Freddy, except instead of just FNAF 1 Freddy, but withered. And I resculpted his feet to be more like Withered Freddy from the game. And then I repainted him and gave him a dark wash to make him all withered and dirty. But yeah, I am very proud on how this dude turned out. If you remember my last attempt for the Funko, for my Withereds, you would know that they were a bit rough. Freddy had a Funtime Foxy body. Not this location Funtime Foxy, the Wave 2 Funtime Foxy figure. So yeah, this is definitely an improvement. I'll link the video that I'm talking about down in the description, so y'all can check out that video and compare them. But yeah, there's Withered Freddy. Next, we are going to be showcasing my favorite FNAF character, Withered Bonnie. Now, most of this is the same as Withered Freddy, except for the body. The body's not completely hand sculpted, though I did extend it so he can be taller and match his bandmates, because if I didn't, he would be very short. The hand is a standard Funko hand, but I cut off all the fingers and I used wires to sculpt it and pose it, and then I cut the fingers in sections and then cut them to the shape I wanted, and then glued them on. So so his hand is now posed and looks more like an endo hand. I didn't do that with the foot because I was lazy. But all the wires on him, as you can see, are actual wires. I drilled into the body so I can glue those in. I kind of regret putting these in because it's scraping the paint at the bottom. But he has all the standard joints as Freddy does. He has a ball joint in his waist And in his feet, I flipped the joint in the hand to where it can do the same thing, though his hand doesn't like to stay in that much. I don't know why. I didn't really change any of the withering on the original because I thought it looked fine. So, yeah. I did shape up the head a little bit to where it looks more accurate to Withered Bonnie. And I added wires in the ears so they can be not globs of super glue, because this dude had been through a lot. This head's from my original 2016 Bonnie, so that's why I was like that. But yeah, there's Withered Bonnie. Next up, we are going to be showing off one of my favorites of Mother Customs, Withered Chica. Now, she looks fantastic. She looks so much better than what she did originally. For starters, she actually has wires on the head instead of like toothpicks around the back. I completely reshaped the head again and made it to where how she looks in the game. I redid her lower jaw and I hand did all the teeth. The teeth are made from toothpicks, and I drilled into the jaws and glued them in and then sanded them so they can be rounded. That took so long. So long. But it was worth it in the end. I hand sculpted the bib and hand painted the letters on it. It may not be the best, but honestly, for a first try, I think I did pretty good. The head doesn't really like stay on. I hand sculpted the nails on her. One of them broke, unfortunately, so I'll have to resculpt that. I used my Dremel on all the weathering, and honestly, this is some of my favorite weathering on these figures because it just looks so nice. It just looks one of the nicest ones on her. And then the wires are actual real wires in the hands. They kind of sharp. I didn't extend her body. What I did was I just widened it. Now I did widen her waist with a 3D pen. That's what I did with Freddy and Bonnie as well. That's why it's so seamless, unlike Bonnie's. And then I just repainted her and then weathered her up. But yeah, she is definitely one of my favorites. I love how she turned out. Next off, we have the pirate himself, Withered Foxy. Now, this dude looks very nice from how he looked originally. I'm very happy what I did with the head. I actually did something with the jaw this time. And I did the same thing like I did with Chica. I did all the teeth with toothpicks. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as Chica's, but it was still eh. I sculpted the endo head, and then I just attached the ear onto it. The hairs on his head are from wire, so they're a little sharp, but eh. I actually cut the body in half and then carved into the body. That's why you can still see his endo, like his neck peg down there. The hand is the exact same way as Bonnie's. And just like Bonnie's, it doesn't like to stay in. But yeah, it's the exact same thing like I did with Bonnie's. Cut off the fingers. Cut the fingers to how I wanted them to look, drilled in some wires, and then slide the fingers onto the wire and had it pose. The hook is actually movable. It can rotate. And the hook is kind of custom made. The base of it is from the Funtime Foxy figure. The little circle on top is from Plastic Card. And then obviously the hook itself is from Funtime Foxy. The arms are also from Funtime Foxy, but everything else is from the Fnaf 1 Foxy. Though, I didn't custom make these feet from my 3D pen as well. If you guys wanting to do this, definitely get yourself a 3D pen. It will help you so much. I used my Dremel to cut out all the weathering, my bad, sorry, on him, including his arms, his legs, and definitely his body. You will not be able to get a knife through these bodies, trust me. Like the rest of them, Lego ball joint. His is more visible, which I like. On his waist and his feet. I kind of wanted to make his jaw move, but I wouldn't know how that would do and how it would look. But yeah, I am also very proud of Withered Foxy. He is so much better than how he looked before. Next off, we have, if I can get them together, Withered Golden Freddy. Now, the next two characters are going to be the same story as Withered Freddy. Bodies handmade from a 3D pen, drilled into it to make a neck peg, and extended arms. Though I did do the same thing like I normally do with all my Golden Freddys, I did make a very, very dark purple and painted his hat with it and then added a black stripe. So you can get that subtle hint of this dude used to be Fredbear. But something different I did was I actually drilled through the eye to make it look black, but on the other eye, I only drilled in a little bit so it can be like a little crater, and then painted it on with a white dot to make it look like he's staring at you always, kind of give you that illusion. And plus, make him not have eyes for obvious reasons. Funko. But yeah, he has all those standard articulation as the rest of them. Waist articulation, feet articulation, wrist articulation, all that other jazz. He does have lighter colors on him. It's just kind of hard to tell due to the dark wash. But I really do like how this dude turned out. He was too bright before. Him and Chica swapped colors. I don't know what I was thinking for these two. I really don't. But yeah, I'm very proud of how Withered Golden Freddy turned out. He looks very nice. Next off, we have the most recent character I finished, and the one I could have done better on, mainly because I rushed on him. Shadow Freddy. Same story as the rest, though I did add more wires this time. Withered Golden Freddy only had wires on his ear. Shadow Freddy, I actually added his eye wires. But instead of going Freddy, I actually just cratered in both eyes. I didn't drill completely through so you can still get that illusion. It's not as effective as Golden Freddy's, but it still works. His jaw's a little off-centered because this side's too wide. It annoys me, but hey, whatever. He has all the standard articulation. The body is made by 3D pen. I did give him a black wash instead of like the standard brown, blues, reds for the rest of them. Because, you know, he's a shadow and I didn't want him to show up too much. So, like, if you get him in like a dark place, you'll only see like his teeth and eyes, which is what I was aiming for, and I'm very glad that happened. Because he's really dark in the game. And I just wanted that to be represented in this figure. So yeah, that is all of the Withered animatronics. I am very happy how these guys turned out. They have such a big upgrade from what they had before. But now, it is time for the toy animatronics. First off, we have Toy Freddy. Now, I didn't really do anything to this dude. All I did was just repaint his eyes, because originally they were a bit sloppy. I do kind of want to redo this dude eventually, because one, he was my first attempt at a toy animatronic, so he's a bit rough. And two, I didn't prime him. So I think that might be why he looks a little off. I don't know, he seems just a bit too dark. I'd also just want to repaint him in general, because obviously my skills have improved. And I want to see how I can do on this dude. But he doesn't have any of the new articulation, because I want him still shorter than the Withereds, like the toys are supposed to be. I can't really... Come here, Freddy. See? Freddy is very much taller than Toy Freddy, which was what I was going for. I'm be real, I don't know where I'm going to put these guys. I guess right here. No, I'm blocking Shadow Freddy. There you go. Next off, we have Toy Bonnie. Now, I tried to smooth out all the ridges on him, but it didn't really work. The paint helped a little bit. They're not as noticeable as they were before. I say as I see every single one on camera. Yay. I probably will be redoing this guy eventually. What this time I'll do is I'll take my Dremel to him and just sand away at the ridges. Just a tiny bit, not too much, because I don't want to mess up the sculpt on him. But just enough to where, like, if I put putty on him, it won't be noticeable. Yeah, there's a paint chip there. Yay. Love that. But honestly, I do really like how he turned out. I'm not the hugest fan of Toy Bonnie, because he stole my boy's place. Die. But, you know, I still enjoy the character, and I really do like how he turned out in figure form. Yeah, Funko, it's this easy. It's this easy, Funko. Why can't you do this, Funko? Okay. Get out of the way, Toy Bonnie, gosh. And the last one we will be showing off today is going to be, if I can get, I'll just grab it a second. Toy Chica. Yes, I know, I did not make Mangle. I have the Funtime Foxy figure. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to look for it. I'll make a community post it whenever I find it. But honestly, out of these two, I think she may be my favorite. Not in that way. It's just how she turned out. I like how she turned out. The colors are nice. The paint job's nice. I hand painted the bib again. And I think it turned out a little better than what Withered Chica's did. Oh, and this one has a magnet. Please go on. There you go. For the toy. Come on. For the toy cupcake. With the way her hand's sculpted, it sits awkwardly. So I gotta like pose it in a certain way. But here is the toy cupcake. I did kind of rush on him a little bit because it was like a last minute choice. But honestly, he didn't turn out too bad. He still looks nice. All of them are glossy, which is what I wanted in my toys. Because toy animatronics are supposed to be glossy. But I do really like how she turned out. Just the colors and the sculpt. The sculpt is good. I think the head's a little off, though. Not too. I think the beak may be a bit too big. I don't know. But she is definitely one of my favorites out of these three. But yeah, I was gonna spray paint her yellow, but my yellow spray paint ran out halfway through. So then I had to end up hand painting all the yellow on. That was not fun. But I'm also very proud of the bib. I think I did pretty decent on the bib. I hand painted on all the confetti. Same thing with Withered Chica over there. And obviously, like I said, I hand painted the letters. I think it turned out pretty decent. They may be a bit off-centered, maybe mainly just the LEDs, but meh, I still think it turned out pretty decent. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this showcase. Please stand. Thank you. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this showcase. I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. Again, like I said, life happened. And I haven't been able to get anything new due to Christmas coming soon. And, you know, can't get anything. I have been getting back on the habit of making customs. And I do have a custom Metal Sonic figure coming along. I had him on the back burner just so I can get these guys finished. But since these guys are now finished, I can finally work on my Metal Sonic. But yeah, after Christmas, there's going to be a crap ton of reviews, maybe during Christmas too. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And hope you all have a happy holidays. So, yeah, bye.